To check if the following function is even, odd, or neither, we simply replace x by negative x, and if we get back to the original function, then the function is even. If we get negative of original function, then that is odd. If we get something else, then we will say the function is neither. Okay, so let's replace x by negative x. Then we get f of negative x equals 3 times x is now negative x to the fourth plus 5. Let's simplify this. 3 times negative x to the fourth, so there is a negative 1, so negative 1 raised to 4. So when we raise negative 1 to the fourth power, negative, 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 and even number of times, that becomes positive, and 1 raised to 4 is 1. So basically just 1. So 3 times 1, so nothing. So x to the fourth. So this will be 3 x to the fourth plus 5. And this is the original function. Okay, this is same as the original function. That means this function is even. So we say even function. Okay, let's go for the second question. Now we replace x by negative x, then we get f of negative x equals negative 5 times x cubed is now negative x cubed over 3 times negative x squared minus 2. Let's simplify. Negative 5 times negative 1 3 times, so negative 1 raised to 3, negative and odd number of times, just negative 1. Okay, so this will be negative 5 times, this is negative 1 x cubed or negative x cubed over, on the bottom, negative is squared, negative 1 is squared, that's positive 1. So 1 times 3 is 3 x squared minus 2. Okay, we got two terms, just this term and minus 2. On the top, let's simplify further. We have negative, negative, positive, 5 times 1, 5 x cubed, okay, over 3x squared minus 2. Okay, is this the original function? The bottom is same, but the top we were supposed to get negative, but we have now positive. So is this negative of the original function? Yes. If we multiply this original function by negative 1, multiply by negative 1, let's say if we multiply by negative 1, then negative 1 times negative 5, that's 5 x cubed. That's what we have here. So this function is in fact negative 1 times the original function. Okay, if we multiply the original function by negative 1, then we get this. So replacing x, okay, replacing x by negative x gives negative of the original function. That means the function is odd. And finally, let's try the third example. As usual, we replace x by negative x. So f of negative x equals, this is x squared, is negative x quantity squared minus 3 over 5 times negative x minus 1. Let's simplify. Negative is squared, this is negative 1 is squared is positive 1, so x is squared, just positive x is squared minus 3 over 5 times negative 1x, so it's negative 1 times 5, negative 5x minus 1 separate. Okay, we have two terms on the bottom. Now the question is this the original function? X squared minus 3, yes, the top is good, but negative 5x minus 1, we have positive 5x minus 1, so this is not the original function. Okay, now is this negative of the original function? Okay, what is the negative of original function? Let's try. Negative 1 of the original function 5x minus 1. This negative 1 is in fact negative 1 over 1, so we can think in that way, or negative 1 is same as 1 over negative 1, so we can freely multiply either the top or the bottom. The top is already same thing, so let's multiply the bottom. We are multiplying the original function by negative 1 to see if this is negative of the original function. Okay, now the top is x squared minus 3. When we multiply the bottom by negative 1, negative 1 times basically distribute. Negative 1 times 5x is negative 5x. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. This is not the same. So this is not the original function, and this is not the negative of original function. We tried, we multiplied by negative 1. Okay, multiply the original function by negative 1, but we did not get that. That means this is neither.